Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. The new week. We've got the same problems. And we're doing game dev. Here we go. So we're working on the autotiling system. We had a certain way we were handling outlines, which seems counterintuitive, but at the time it seemed like a good idea, which is that we were doing it bottom up. So tiles above lower tiles would defer to the lower tiles to be like, do we want an outline here? But that ended up not working. Hey, Ezra. Hello, fellow FTL-like creator. Yeah, I saw you bandying around the term FTL-like, and I had to decide whether to notify my lawyers. How's it going, Ezra? All right, so we made some changes, and now we got to make a whole lot more. Where do I want to be? I want to be approximately here, I think. Nope, down further. Here, yeah. We want to change the way walls are applying outlines. So we kind of broke the old system, and now it's time to put in a new system. That's weird. Yeah, so there's no outlines on like the base of these things anymore. So we gotta reapply those back. I'm just looking at, I started messing around with this selection overlay, and I just want to see if it's working the way I'm expecting it to. Yeah, we're gonna have to write a bunch more auto tiling rules to get this to work the way that we want it to. Whoa, what just happened there? Yeah, this is not gonna be fun. So the act of selecting everything really sent you into a weird state. That's interesting. I don't think I've seen that before. You're taking your stream break day for some video recording session. Nice, nice. Getting some evergreen content ready. Do you have a roadmap for this project? Yes. Yeah. Ballpark. Yes. Ballpark it. Yeah. Well, here's my to-do list for the tile block editor itself, but that's really not what we're talking about. We're talking about like a roadmap. Here's like an approximate roadmap with some caveats. Always evergreening. Exactly. What the hell is playing in the radio right now? It's not Christmas time yet. Ban that song. I might start playing spooky music though. I'll do that during the solo dev Halloween jam. That's when I'll play spooky music. Which I think I'll do not this weekend, but next weekend. But yeah, here's like an approximate roadmap. So we've got kind of the outline of everything. We're only down to here, to the tile block editor. That's what we've been working on the whole time. But we're thinking of an alpha MVP launch eventually that's free on itch with a Steam demo. We're working on the tile block editor. Next, we got to do the simulation of like what's actually happening on the ship. Then we need to make a scenario editor where we can like write those like FTL-like scenarios of like you jump in, you're under attack. I don't know, whatever. Someone asks you if you'll beam down and bring the medical supplies, blah, 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 blah. That also leads to a simulation of like a battlefield where ships can fight. And so we're really focused on this with the caveat of once I have these three things done, I have like a side project that I have in mind, like an idle game side project I have in mind called Lo-Fi Flyby. I'm actually not convinced about whether there should be a hyphen or not. Maybe there should. I'm not sold on that. So we might get severely sidetracked if I end up doing this side project soon. But we have plans. You like how this tool looks? This tool is sick. This is Obsidian. And the ability to do all this fun stuff with just boxes and groups and stuff is really fun. This is their canvas. And it's cool. You can use it. I like using it like this for like flowcharts, but you can also use it like for like other things. Like where's inspirations or influences? Here we go. So like you can also use it as like a collage for images. So I was comparing like FTL and like Into the Breach and like doing a little write-up at one point. There's another neat feature that you can use this with, which is like I could go here and I could like add a web page and we could just add like the Godot docs. And then the Godot docs actually just fully loads. So you can just put a website here and just interact with the website directly in Obsidian. If you're like comparing a bunch of different stuff, it's kind of neat. Super neat feature. Yeah, I like this tool. I don't use it nearly enough. I should be writing a lot more in this sort of thing, but I'm like not a big documentation guy. All right, so I have no idea why the act of selecting would change the autotiler's opinion about anything. So I kind of want to just ignore that. But yeah, we're essentially rewriting a bunch of our autotiler rules because we were having some issues with overlays. So we're rewriting them to handle overlays better. And this is going to be a real messy process because I don't document anything. Get sponsored. Yeah, right. Get sponsored for this free program that I use. All right. First thing I want to do is kind of fix the bottom part of this piece here. And then actually what I kind of want to do is I want to fix the lower edges. So like you can see these edges aren't being outlined. And it's because the way we're doing it this way, which is harder, is like this tile actually needs to look at its neighbor tile and see if its neighbor tile is outlined. If its neighbor tile is supposed to be outlined, it's actually going to be this tile's job to do that. This is why I did not want to do it this way. I very desperately did not want to do it this way because I'm actually going to have to change the tile set atlas source again to accommodate this. The way we had it before, each tile was totally self-sufficient about drawing its outline. And I liked that a lot better, but it was running into some pretty fundamental problems. Because if you could imagine, it's pretty hard to overlay stuff when you rely on the bottommost tile, the underlay, to do all the work, and then the overlays just try to get out of the way. That ended up not working well. So we're going to rewrite it. It's going to be a pain, but we're going to do it. Because that's game dev. Implementing a whole system and then realizing you need to go back and redo the whole system. All right, let's fix the tile set atlas first. Can't see. So I think what I need to do is I need to add on to the bottoms of these. I need to add like this. It is cold today here. It's been like late summer, like really nice for most of October. And then yesterday there was like a rainstorm where we got like months worth of rain in like 24 hours. Which is crazy and pretty typical nowadays, I guess. But it was, man, it is like sudden. It's all of a sudden fall. It's like no longer late summer here. It's all of a sudden cold and rainy. And it's nice, but I am like not used to it. Everything is cold. My feet are cold. Like, what am I even supposed to do about this? It's chilly there as well. Yeah. It's beginning to look a lot like I don't know. Hopefully not Christmas. It is beginning to look a lot like Halloween, which I love. Everyone's put up their Halloween decorations last weekend. My neighborhood goes hard on Halloween. It's like a very family neighborhood in San Francisco. A lot of people come in from other neighborhoods to like trick or treat down my street. Your apartment has no openable window. It's facing the sun with your AC broken. It's 85 degrees inside, but if you step out, it's cold. That's crazy. Yeah, I don't have the heater on because all my windows are open still. I need to do a bit of cleaning. I need to do some more cleaning before I'm ready to like seal my apartment up for a season, you know? I don't want it to get stuffy. Must be handing out some bomb candies. It's crazy. There's usually like block parties. There's usually a band playing in a garage that's like kind of a weird, kind of fun, like metal band. Halloween's here are nuts. I love it. The annual Serene Wrap House for the winter. Yeah, I gotta wrap. I gotta clean everything out so I can just seal up and not come back out until like March. Not that it gets terribly cold here. It's still San Francisco. Like I complain about the cold and I'm complaining about like 50-something degree weather. All right, so I think I changed the file. I have to bring up Godot. I always forget this part because I'm not usually working in the Godot editor when I'm working on this project, since I'm doing everything in Writer. I love having to tab over to the editor just so that it re-imports the files. There's probably I looked for a setting that was like listen for file changes or something like that. See if it would do something like that in the background. It seemingly does not. All right, I broke something, which is typical. Oh, I exported it with the background on. Typical Dave. All right, that looks more consistent. What happens when I start stacking it, though? Yeah, this is what I was afraid of here. So, what do we got here? That I don't want. I don't understand what's happening. Oh, it's because I added all the outlines back. Did I? Were we just not auto-tiling for the bottom level before? Because it was. I think I understand what was happening. Oh, maybe I don't understand what was happening. So I do that. That's what that looks like, and then I click away, and it goes away. Curiouser and curiouser. Someday I'm going to be done with this editor. So where do we not want to do the outline? I think we only want it on the bottom of the deck plating. I think we want to get rid of it everywhere, but of course the last one that I did. I think we want to only do it here. So that you still get a nice piece of line work when we jump from one level to another level, but otherwise you don't see it. I think that's what I want. Top-down mode when? Never. Oh, that's unfortunate that that's how that looks. Why does it look like that? Huh. Oh, I know why. Because once again, I did not tab over to Godot. Whoop. Yeah, I don't love that. Oh, and I exported it with the background on again. Man, I'm so good at my art workflow. I really know what's up. How many projects you got going right now, Ezra? Still at like 5 or 6? All right, let's see what happens when I draw another layer under here. And then let's select all of it. See what we get. Yeah, that's kind of what I want to see. Kind of. Not really. I guess I can tell. I guess that's fine because it doesn't stick around. This, though, I don't understand what's happening here. Like, why would the act of select everything change how everything's being drawn? Very confusing. It's the selection that's messing it up somehow. Which is weird because the selection doesn't do anything in terms of, like, it doesn't mark the block differently. Weird. All right, we need to work on this fundamental problem, which is like a tile in front needs to check the tile behind it. Which means I kind of always need to make sure that I'm iterating back to front, which I don't think is super doable. Actually, I guess that's fine. Actually, yeah, as long as we're going back to front, this should be okay. We don't need to do it in multiple passes because we always know that if we are iterating like this, like in this order, like we do that line and then we do this line, if we look at this, the tiles behind it will have already been done. So that's not that bad. That's gonna be weird when I add camera rotation back. 4 to 5 projects, give or take. You got 3 official planned to launch next October. You've got 3 projects planned for simultaneous launches next October. At least a solid demo for Next Fest. That's crazy. You're busy. Still going to GodotCon Boston next year? I'm definitely going to go. I know they haven't like announced the dates or anything. All they've announced is that they intend to do it again. But I'm going to go. And you know how I'm going to be able to afford it? I'm going to just not go to GDC anymore. Because GDC... Well, it's been a shit show for a long time. But this latest rebrand they're talking about looks really dumb. Looks really dumb. So I'm just going to take the money I would have spent going to GDC. I'm just going to spend it on Boston. Godot Boston. GodotCon Boston. I think that'll be a worthy alternative for me. All right, so what we're going to start with here... What we're going to start with... I see some trepidation in those 3 M's that you drew, that you wrote out. Okay, so I want to start. Let's just start easy. We'll start easy with the. I said I was gonna handle the tops of. Does this access this randomly? Is the problem? Are we doing this randomly when we're picking tiles to look at? We say for each tile in hull key, don't we? For each hull key in hulls keys. I wonder if what you get back from dictionary.keys. I wonder if that's like relatively in order, or if it's relatively in the order that you entered. Let me look that up. Cool. When calling dictionary tkey tvalue.keys in C#, the order in which the keys are returned is not guaranteed and is considered unspecified. That's what I guess I would have expected. Do you think I can make the editor fonts bigger? Or is that just too difficult for you to navigate and work with? You mean like in the Godot engine? Like in here? I'm pretty sure I have everything at like... Oh, you can't see the code on your phone. I'm sorry, Ezra. I'm sorry, it's not what I optimized for. We're using like 20-point font. I feel like people would already consider this like huge. I think we're using 20-point font. Okay, it says we're using size 16, but I don't think that's true. I think maybe that's true for... I thought we were using 20-point. Let me see. Maybe we can up it. I think I have a zoom or something. Hold. I can figure this out. I can just control... Yeah, we're at font size 20 points. Too many people asked for bigger, for tutorials especially. Oh, yeah. If I was making like a video where I was like, let's look at the code, I'd probably be like this. I'd probably just jam it up as high as I could go like this or something. Yeah. I mean, this looks nice. The thing about it though, Ezra, I don't think I want people to look at my code. Let's just hide all that. Let's just No, you got a good point. I should probably up it maybe a little bit. Like 24 maybe. Something like this. Maybe I should start getting used to. It's hard to follow if it's too small. It's also hard to follow if it's poorly written. Which is the case for mine. All right, so how fundamentally are we going to change this? So we're just iterating through each hull key. Should we just do a different iteration? Counts.length. Counts I equals... Oh, no, that's whatever. Tiles.clear. I think I need to change this so that we're looping kind of like we are out here. If I'm going to do it this way, where we are depending on our neighbors... Oh, shoot. This does need to be in a separate pass. Because we're not always only interested in the tiles behind us. Sometimes we're interested in the tiles in front of us, which is part of the pain in the butt that is this new that I'm trying to work on here. So if we've got this and we've got a block here, this block actually needs to, like this block needs to look at this tile and this tile and this tile. Is that true? What the heck is this? Oh, yeah, it is true. You can see. It's like cutting in over here. Yeah. Weird that it's not happening here, though. Oh, it's happening on the side. I see. Okay. Yeah, so this tile needs to look ahead of itself. So it actually can't... I can't just do the thing I wanted to do. That's fine. Hey, Sapphire Starship. How's it going? Can you explain what problem you're trying to solve? Kind of. I kind of could. There's basically this argument between the different tile levels and layers and overlays. The system I had before kind of worked, but didn't totally work, so we're rewriting it. What we're kind of doing is we're changing the auto tiling rules so that the outlining is correct. It's probably the simplest way to say it, because before we'd have these conflicts that I couldn't resolve with the old system, and I'm hoping this new system will be able to resolve them. Bit of a rough day at work today. You're glad to be home and joining me here. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. We're gonna just do a little bit of a refactor here, and it's the kind of the hard kind of refactor. Okay, so do I have enough information to do this? Since we're essentially the way we were doing it before, each tile was responsible for its own overlay and didn't pay attention to any of it. Well, it paid attention to the neighboring tiles a little bit, but not to the extent that we need to do now. It's because I can explain to you why we have a problem, because I think if you're just hearing me talk, you're like, why is any of this a problem at all? And it's because there's vertical overlap. Like, best way to explain the vertical overlap or to demo the vertical overlap. Let me see if I can find something. Oh, that's bright. So, like, when these blocks get combined, there's overlap. If there wasn't overlap, then this outline would be 2 pixels thick. But they overlap. So there's this point where this tile above here needs to know about the tile below it. And so I just need to increase that understanding, the level of understanding that this tile has about its local situation. I just need to expand the amount of points that it's checking so that it knows which outline to draw. And the first one I've decided to tackle is just the top of the floor piece. So right now, if we draw like a thing like this, and we try to select an area in the floor piece, you can see that the outline is missing. And it's because these floor pieces in front aren't checking behind themselves. They aren't checking their neighbor here and being like, am I responsible for drawing this outline because of the overlap? Because I'm on top? It's my responsibility to draw any outline from the tile behind me, is essentially how that works. And so we need to do a bit more checking. So what this needs to do is we need to look at our negative X and our negative Y. And we need to check a number of things. We need to check to see. We need to know if, basically we need to know if we're being overlaid at the moment. We need to know if there's if it's part of the selection bounding box. And we also kind of need to know if it's in this hover area. I don't know how I'm representing this. I'm probably representing this with just an AABB. Let's see. How am I even storing that? This bigger font is, I think, better. Thanks for the advice there. Oh, I got a spam bot. Get owned, spam bot. Blasted. All right, so let's go to the tool system. The tool system can tell us how the selection and the hover stuff is done. Cursor bounds. It's called cursor bounds. Okay, so I just need to listen to the cursor bounds. So that one's called cursor bounds. I presume this one is called like selection bounds or something like that. Oh, it's just called selection. Game.input.selection. Add. What the hell is this? It's a hash set? Oh, because it's not continuous. Okay. That's fine. We only need to ask this. Oh, so much for having a unified control flow here. We should probably ask different questions, whether we're talking about an overlay or we're talking about, I don't know what to call it, an underlay, the actual hull. Arneo, you've come home from a hard day's unemployment. Not sure how much game dev you'll do tonight, but you guess at least some. You know, that's okay. I have not been feeling a lot of game dev, a lot of late night game dev. I've mostly just been playing Foundation, which is a fun game. Very chill. So yeah, I get it. You've been making crazy progress, Arneo, so, you know, don't worry about it. Oh, this code is huge. And by the code is huge, I mean this font is so large. But if it helps people read it, that's great. It helps them follow along. So what I normally do... Fellow fun employment game dev, yes indeed. I mean, not me, but yeah. Maybe someday I'll be lucky enough to be fun employed and be doing game dev full time. But not this day. I'm still just a square working my day job. At least I got a few hours during the day when I can take a break and do some game dev. I don't know what I'm looking for. Oh yeah, I'm looking for here. So describe tile map data. So what I have been doing is I've been funneling everything through the same function calls and just separating them within the function. I don't think I want to do that anymore. I think I'm going to end up splitting these a little more. Because like what I've been trying to do is to try to just have like some simple branches in the function, but I probably am going to need to... It looks like we're going to need to be doing way more comparison than we've currently been doing to make this new system work. So that's probably... I should probably start splitting these off more. Your saving is draining faster these days. That's true. That's true. That's a scary thing when you're just working on savings, because it seems like every day everything costs more. And the math that you did before is no longer valid. Sapphire, You might get to working on trying to work out some concept art for your next project shortly. Oh yeah, I highly recommend you doing that ASAP. Anything, just something to get. I don't know if concept art is the right word, but I like doing like a finished piece that kind of is the vibe of what I'm going for. I think that could be very helpful because you can get kind of an idea of like what kind of resolution am I looking at? Like how much can I fit on screen? I think that sort of thing is super illuminating for a new project. Arnio, you're not unemployed because you game dev. You game dev because you're unemployed. You land some 9 to 5 over progressing a lot slower. Oh yeah, for sure. That's the way. I mean, I'm progressing quite slowly if it's not very, very clear. So maybe what we do is we actually fix the auto tiler for the quote unquote underlay, and then we do the overlay after. I want to fix the overlay immediately because we see the overlay all the time and the overlay just looks wrong and I don't like it. I would like to fix that sooner than later. What I should do is probably fix stuff like this. Like when you place a blocks, there needs to be an outline down here. So so whose job is it to draw this outline? It's the wall's job. So let's start doing stuff like that because that should be relatively easy. So it's the wall's job to draw this bottom outline. If we get... What happens if we make a room? Let's see what other ones we're missing. It looks like it's mainly that one. Oh, I see another one. It's hard to show on stream, but I can see it. Okay. Ooh. Ooh, this should not be possible. How is this possible again? Oh, I see why this is possible. That's a problem. I'm having a hard time with this room within rooms thing. The cutaway system does not like a room within a room. I need to figure out a solution to that. All right, so let's go down to the wall piece. Fighting hard not to go back to working your tech job, but I mean, there might not be any tech jobs left to go back to. Is the unfortunate thing, right? That's the nightmare scenario. Sapphire, you guess concept art isn't the exact correct word. You were just meaning like working on some of the artwork that may or may not be used, but will work for now. Oh yeah, like some kind of mock-up, right? I feel like concept art is like a very loaded term in the game industry. Hey, the ant, how's it going? Thanks for the hydrate. Ezra, might need to key press for flipping through how many walls your mouse goes through. I want to switch to like a fake like raycast input. So I can just like scroll through different layers. Right now I just scroll through different Z layers. But once I do the other, I can totally do something like, you see a room, you want to scroll into the room, so you scroll forward, and now you're in the room, quote unquote, in the room in terms of the cutaway, even though you're on the same Z layer. Right now, if I scrolled, I would just go down to the Z layer below, which is not what we are talking about. But yeah, I think I want you to be able to scroll through a wall to see what's behind it. Because then, yeah, I don't have to mess around with that cutaway thing quite as much, or the weirdness of that cutaway quite as much. You're good? That's good to hear. A the ant. All right. So what we gotta do, we gotta look at, oh, excuse me, the plus Y edge. We need more conditions here. Because this is getting rid of the outline when it shouldn't. So what it's saying is it's like, If there's a key, so if there's a wall, okay, if there's a wall or a floor, if there's a floor below us and the mask is not equal to null, okay, the mask is not equal to null. This is the branch that we're interested in. The mask is not equal to null and the mask contains a neighbor in front of us. Oh, like another wall in front of us. Or not halls.contains key with W equals tile.layers.deck plus vector3i.x. Huh. I mean, we're just hitting this condition. This and mask contains key to... Well, maybe we're not. We shouldn't be, actually. We shouldn't hit this. So we must be hitting this. Oh, and not halls.contains key. I think this is erroneous for our new world here. All right, let's see if that fixed it for one side. No, it fixed it for neither. I'm like sure that that's how this works, right? Right? I don't know if I like these vertical pipes, like the vertical lines along the side here. I thought I did, but they're causing a lot of trouble. So I think maybe I don't. Maybe I get rid of those. So why is no outline being drawn here? All right, let's see. And oh, this mask is not equal null. Oh, there needs to be another condition attached to this. I misread these. Or mask is equal to null. That's not sufficient. And something. And what do we want to know? Oh, we want to make sure halls contains key with W. Oh, should this be a... This contains key needs to become a try get value. Out hall adjacent positive Z. And adjacent positive Z needs to be the same as our hull type. If it's not the same as our hull type, then we need to introduce an outline. I'm pretty sure that's it. Let's see. So if I draw this out and I go to put a wall here, yep, there we are. We've restored one of the outlines. I see some big problems with the overlay. All right, let's add this condition to the other side because that's easy. That's an easy fix for this. That seemed like the most egregious issue with the quote-unquote underlay. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't know if I like this, like, drawing out these lines. It helps you measure the length of what you're doing, which I guess is helpful. Helps you count. Maybe I keep it. Oh, okay. I see a problem. Let's go inside a room here and make sure that we're doing okay. There's one more missing piece here, so we need to do. I see there's another problem at like a 90-degree joint here. So that one just needs to check to make sure that there isn't a cutaway. Okay, I can do that. We can do this. So we go back to plus Y. And what we do here is we say, so if mask is not equal to null and mask.contains, do I care about this? And mask.contains is, oh, the mask thing doesn't matter because we're not in a mask mode. So we have mask is equal to all and blah, blah. I think this mask equals hull thing, I think this is going to go away. I think we're going to put the masked ones on a different track, a different function. So I'm not going to worry too much about that. What I'm going to worry about is this additional condition that we need. We basically need to make sure that there isn't a cutaway. I'm going to put that just kind of here. I'm going to say if cutaways contains, actually what we want to do is we want to say if cutaways key.xyz plus vector3i.x dot has cutaway blocks dot extents, or not cutaway blocks, cutaway dot extents full bulk. And we don't need the if, right? Don't need that. So it needs to not have the cutaway. If it doesn't have the cutaway, then we should be okay. Let's see if that fixed it. So we're just tighten up the graphics on level 3 here. Make sure the, all right, that worked. That seemed to work. I know it's hard to tell because we're talking about black outlines on like often dark gray, but it seems to be working. So we'll add that line to the other side. We're not going to be concerned about how that affects the overlay, because again, I think we're going to split off the overlay into its own area here. We'll just add that there. Sorry, I'm texting someone here real quick. All right, so that's all. Oop. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. That one's not right for some... Oh, I didn't change the X to Y. Of course I didn't. That would require me to be paying attention. Okay, maybe this isn't as bad as I thought it would be. Maybe it really is just the overlays that are having a problem, and everything else is actually pretty okay. That would be excellent, because I got worried for a second there. I mean, not that the overlay problem is not significant. It is. But I only see one other missing outline from the actual hull type. And it's impossible for you to see on stream because it's this black outline against dark gray that's not... Oh, weird. It's not present, but only in one particular spot. Oh, God, there's missing corners. No worries. Thanks, Ezra. Take it easy. There's corners. Okay. We got to actually start programming some corners here. I was worried we'd have to do that soon. All right, let's worry about the bottom outline. Huh. All right, so we can go up to the deck X and deck Y.
Results are not guaranteed.
Oh, this is why I passed this in as just an I collection of vector 3. It's so that I can support both the hash set version and the axis aligned bounding box version. That makes sense. I should probably have an overload that just takes the bounding box. Actually, maybe that doesn't matter. Because I would do the same thing. I would like... Well, maybe I wouldn't. Maybe I wouldn't. Huh. I'll have to think about that. If we're splitting out multiple versions of this function, it's pretty easy to make variants like that, though. Which I think is what we need to do. Alright, so what we're doing now is we're looking at the plus Y edge for the deck tile. So we pull out this hull. Probably want this. So we can get rid of this. So if mask is null, we can get rid of this if... Yeah, easy. Is that literally just it? Is that all there is to this? Oink. Yeah, I really don't like the state of this overlay. All right, let's make these corner pieces work. That's exciting. If coords.x is 1 or 3 and coords.y is 1 or 3, chords equals chords with z equals chords.z plus 1. So we need an additional thing here. We're looking at the minus x plus y and the plus x plus y variations. So we need to say something like, and you're not much of an artist, Sapphire. That doesn't matter. It's about what you can practically do. So it's like, I don't know. I've stumbled into art styles that I can support. You just kind of develop a style that matches what you can practically accomplish. I know it sounds hard, but you get the hang of it. Or, I don't know. Like, I gravitated toward pixel art because I liked that a lot more than 3D, even though I couldn't do either. And now, just after a couple of years, I've developed enough pixel art where I, like, don't hate my art anymore. It's not gonna be overnight, but I think you'll be surprised with what you're able to accomplish. The other option is to like kit bash, right? Like to get free assets and like mash them together and use like post processing and like remix them. Hey, Rhiannon Journey. How's it going? Because you could totally do like a collage style thing too. Especially if you're just trying to like mark off the territory of like what you're kind of maybe interested in doing. Arneo, you only do art when you have to. Your updated spaceship sprite came from having to fit some hard points to it. Can't for the life of you figure out how to separate it from the background. Oh, you mean like distinguish your ship from like the background? Like it blends into the space behind it? Yeah, that seems tough with space. Going pretty good. How about me? Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's cold here. It all of a sudden became very rainy and cold. The sun's kind of fighting to get out today though, which is nice, but it's still really fucking cold. So I'm not used to it. So I'm here just in my big fall sweater. My Pottsfield Harvest Sweater Festival. Or what? What did I say? My Pottsfield Harvest Festival sweater. It's almost time to watch Over the Garden Wall. That's like my Christmas movie, like old time. Like people will watch their old timey Christmas shows or movies and stuff when it gets to Christmas. During Halloween, I watch Over the Garden Wall and a couple other things. Like you don't know how to use bright colors, but you have to because the background is essentially black. I like how you wrote background. Yeah, outlining, I think you could probably get away a lot with outlining, but yeah, otherwise you need bold, bright colors or something. Or space becomes very like busy, like it becomes like you draw like nebulas and things like, but yeah, it's really hard to distinguish. What you get away with Eurogame specifically is that at least the player ship is always in the center of the screen, right? So like people can kind of tell where the player ship is, at least, if nothing else. Oh, the Sapphire Starship. Thank you for the subscription. We just beamed you up to the starship here. Welcome aboard. Yeah, it's your favorite time. Yeah, I'm black outlining a lot of stuff, which is gonna be really tough because space is also black. And I'm thinking about how I want to deal with that. I haven't totally decided yet. I'm also not sure it's a problem for me, but we'll see. Because my game is so abstract and you're not really going to see anything move around. You'll just see it jump from like point to point. Waddle Bottle. How's the game look? It's all right. We're working on our autotiler right now. We're expanding the rule set at the moment. How are you doing, Waddle Bottle? Your name is very fun to say. I guess there were a lot of white Star Destroyer backgrounds. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that choice of color was not an accident. All right, so what we got to do here is we got to ask if the catty corner piece. So we need to say, and hulls dot try get value. We need to say hull key plus vector 3i dot xy. No. Plus x minus vector 3i. No, it's minus x plus y. Or plus z even. Out hull dia I'm gonna have dia be short for diagonal. I might just say diagonal here. And so we need a hole there, and we need it to be the same type. So you need to say and hole or diagonal equals hole. Good, cool. With your art, you might be able to get away with space being dark gray and your outline still being black. I think I'm doing the opposite. I think space is black and the outlines are dark gray, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I think that's what I would do. And I think that's what I'm currently doing. Can space be blue? Maybe space could be blue. Probably still makes no sense to have space be brighter colors in the foreground stuff. I've seen a lot of games do things where you're in like these crazy nebula clouds. That's what they usually do, I think, to keep it interesting. Either you're in a nebula or there's like a big planet behind you or you're like a sun or something. All right, so we'll draw this out. Again, no one is going to be able to see these nitpicky outline issues that I'm annoyed with. Well, that's a problem. Well, we fixed the corner piece that I wanted to fix. But now we've got all these extra dots here for some reason. Why is that? Oh, it's because the floor needs to check a wall. It's not the floor doesn't check another floor. It's the alternating floor, wall, floor, wall. So I need to say holes.tryGet value, this one, with key.w, hole key. The heck is the hole key? Is it a vector 3 all of a sudden? No, it's a vector 4. Or no, I just say W. With W. Why is this not working? Hole key with. Oh, I could also just say hole key with X equals hole key minus 1. Hole key minus 1. Z equals whole key dot Z plus 1. W equals int tile dot layers dot bulk X. I don't love that, but is that shorter than just saying this? No, it's not. What's happening? I need the width. Duh. FTL's nebula areas are brighter colors. Yeah, exactly. Most of space is extremely boring, so you got to pick the fun places to set things. Yeah, I think that's easier when you're doing an FTL style game because you just jump to points of interest. Like you don't have to worry about this big intermediate space. You just, if there's a point of interest, you jump to the point of interest. And there could be all sorts of stuff at the point of interest. There could be a planet or a sun or a space station or a nebula or an asteroid field. Like, it's definitely harder when you're trying to do a game like that's free moving. where like you can just you fly between places. If you fly between places under regular quote unquote sub-light engines, A, it's gonna take forever, and B, you have to look at the background. You can do fun stuff with the stars. Like I would definitely encourage doing like parallaxing backgrounds of stars and stuff. All right, so I think this is gonna work. Let's see if it got rid of all those little rivets where they shouldn't be. But we are, I'm glad that we are starting to do some stuff with corners. Nope, that damn rivet's still here. Why? Minus X plus Y. Holes.try get value, hull key minus vector 3i dot x plus vector 3i dot z with w equals int tile dot layers dot bulk x out hull diagonal, and diagonal is equal to hull. That should work, but it's not, so let's think about that. Even going FTL, it can take a really long time unless you are going way faster than light. Your closest star would still be 4 years away going at light speed. Yeah, that's why jump drives are just more I wouldn't say interesting. Like I actually find that there's a lot of interesting ways to do stellar travel. But yeah, the easiest is definitely just teleportation. Like you're just portal jumping to like the next place. Like you're either jumping instantaneously or you're like portaling around. Let's have more Event Horizon style space games where you have to jump through a literal hell dimension to get where you want to go. Let's do more of that. Because that would certainly be interesting. All right, why isn't this working? Is it this? Is it this bad boy over here? Oh, am I reversing the condition? I'm describing when I want to get rid of the corner. Yeah, no, that's what I'm describing. If there is a hull plate at the designated point of a certain type, and its hull type is the same as ours, then we should get rid of the outline. Or the corner, per se. So... that should work. Why doesn't it work? Arneo, you want the star system, quote-unquote, level in your game to feel big enough where you get a little bored if you just travel across it? I think that's good. People will do it anyway. I think it's nice if it's a little boring. Sapphire, it's kind of weird seeing the badge in front of your name. This is the first time you've done anything other than use your Prime sub? Aw, that's very sweet. Thank you. Enjoy it. Enjoy all the perks. You can now ship it with the best of them. I really appreciate the support. So, theoretically, what should be happening is we should be checking this piece. This piece should be looking one down and over at this piece to determine whether it needs to do a corner. This piece should be telling it that that's just fine, but it's not. And why is that? Minus X. Oh, it's not minus X, it's minus Y. Because it's the X face, but we're looking at its negative Y neighbor. Great. That should work. The rivets should be gone now. Yep, sick. But we still get them in this back corner. I needed to implement it because we need one in this back corner. You can't see it because, again, it's like too dark. But it's there, and it needs to be there. All right, we got our first use of our corner case. You're invested now? You feel like you found a good group of people here? Yeah, I think so. There's a lot of people doing a lot of interesting, usually very space-oriented games, but, you know, not everyone. It's really nice to see everyone's progress.
Your logic was impeccable, Captain.
Thanks. Arneo, you're employed, so yours don't move. That's fine. You're shipping it. You're just shipping it statically. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think. All right, let's quickly copy this over to the other side. It's really not good that I call this the plus X minus Y corner. But it's okay. It's confusing that I call it that, I guess, is what I would say. Don't mind about my super weird way of indenting things. I know it's weird. Alright, that should fix the other side as well. I think that might be it for the moment in terms of, like, changes we need to make to the underlay. Probably some weird edge cases that I'm not thinking about. Okay, quick look at everything here. Is that it for now? Man, I thought this was going to be so much harder. I mean, it's going to be harder, but I thought it was going to be a lot harder to do this part. The hard part's going to be the next part. The hard part is doing the overlays so that they all work. That is going to be tricky. So that is going to involve everyone. Quote unquote everyone. That's going to involve all the other tiles. Like the tile, so many tiles are going to be involved in this. I think I will write this as a different function. Because it's getting complicated enough where it kind of needs to be. We could at least just do an override. I don't really want to call these underlays because it's like, yeah, they're kind of underlays, but it's also like the fundamental part. And then we have overlays. There's always going to be weird edge cases no matter what. Autotilers are notorious for having so many, like, well, A, they're literal edge cases. And there's tons of edge and corner cases. Yeah. Just because our autotiler's whole job is, when do we draw the edge? When do we not draw the edge? When do we draw the corner? When do we not draw the corner? So should I just write these as different? Because I wrote these as just get like deck X tile. Let's see. What do I want to call these? Maybe I'll just keep them the same name for now. So what I kind of want to do is I want to stop passing in some stuff that we don't need. Like we could stop passing in Atlas. I also said Atlas index buffer. Do we always need this? Buffer comp. Yeah, we do. Okay. So that's got to stay. So let's just start with just a variation of this function. Well, okay, here's the reason I don't want to do this is I do not want to maintain a whole nother set of autotiler rules. But I'm realizing that the overlay actually just kind of fundamentally does have a different characteristic. So maybe it's get deck X tile and then I'll just have get deck X tile overlay. Not try to just do this with just overloading. Do you still need to get a tile out of it though? So let's see what parts of this we do or don't need. I don't think we need this Atlas shit anymore. Oh, maybe we still do. Because that's how we determine the source ID. But that might actually change a little. I guess for now we'll keep it. We'll keep it for now. Because we already have it. This should be on a new line. We could get rid of this stuff. This eye collection mask and this edge tiles thing. I actually think this edge tiles thing is going to go away, unfortunately. I think I might just have one overlay. Is that crazy? Because right now I have a quote-unquote hover overlay, and then I have a select overlay. I kind of don't want to. Kind of want to just have the one. What does this do? Oh, interesting. Cool. Cool. Well, let's not remove anything yet. Until we better understand what's happening. I wanted the whole thing, huh? Do you add the hovered block into the select overlay, or would the concept of hover block go away? I think the hover block would just become a temporary selection appearance. So I think I would just use one. I would probably just use the select or something. I don't know. I kind of don't want to bother with two. I mean, it's cool that I get this look. I think I might just... I think what I might do is get rid of the white outlines, the like white hot outlines around the selection. And it would just be like a subtler gray. I don't know. The thing is that this selection overlay part isn't used very much. It's used in the editor at the moment, but you're not actually ever going to use it during play. Like if you selected a bunch of stuff, or if you selected an area, when you let off, all that would be left would be like there's a unit or an interactable or something like that. Those would become outlined, but you wouldn't retain this outline of like the whole area that you selected. So like this actually isn't useful for anything except in the editor. So if I keep it, it's just going to be for the editor. Sorry, I know my voice is like breaking up. You like the sound of that? Well, don't encourage me. Yeah, I might just only have the hover one. I mean, I guess I can have both, but what I want is I want them to follow the same rules. I want them to follow the same rules, and I want them to have approximately the same form. So I'm not having to maintain these very different things. So I think they would be similar in that they would all have this, all overlays would have this measured spacing thing, I think. Like, I think if an overlay is being rendered, it will show the underlying grid. I know the selection doesn't, but I actually kind of don't like that about the selection. I kind of wish the selection did show the underlying grid. It's kind of the only time I want to see the grid is if I'm actively, like, overlaying something. Because you could see that being super useful when you click someone. Like, you can see how far they can shoot or something like that. Like, you'd want overlays to show that information generally. And you'd want them to work pretty similar. Yeah, I think it's the white outline I'm going to get rid of. I think I'll retain like a semi-transparent gray outline. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's better. I don't like the big bright white outline. I think you should only see that around actual things that are actually selected. Like if you click a crew member, that crew member will all of a sudden have like a white cutout around them. And I think that's fine. But I don't think I want to see that in the overlay. You like the subtle underlying grid? Yeah, me too. So I think that's what I think that's the direction we're gonna head in. Which means it's time to break some stuff. Sapphire, yeah, the white can be what brings more focus, but having a large white area can be a little too distracting. Yeah, I agree with that. So what we'll do is we've got the default overlay here and we've got the default selected. I think I'm going to just call this default overlay, and I think I'm going to copy. I think I'm going to change it. So this is the current default overlay, and this is not what we're going to be using. I think we will take what currently is the default overlay, or currently what is the default selected, and just start tweaking it. So here's the selected with a background. If you turn off the background, you can see that it's like almost entirely transparent. And so that's all we really need to change is we need to we need to change a few things. So what if I do this and I try to change this stuff? What color is that now? Full on a... Okay, that's not what we want. I'm a little concerned I have to basically redraw this because it's semi-transparent. Let me see what happens if I try to do this. Do you become semi-transparent? Nope. So... alpha compositing, copy alpha plus color. Maybe that's what I want. So what I want is this. What if I do that? Is that what I'm getting? Nope, still. Oh no, the alpha is something. $234. All right. Copy alpha plus color. So I want to get the alpha that I want, and then I want to lock it, is what I want to do, I think. So I think we start with this. To take this, copy this here, and then what do we end up with? 207 with alpha 208. That's not quite what I want. Yeah, getting the alpha to do what I want is really confusing. Copy alpha plus color. That should, I feel like that should overwrite what's happening here. But it doesn't seem to be doing that. $208. Is that what you guys are? 146. That's what I want though. You're copying, not pay. Don't you need to do one to do the other, smooth into second? Well, hold on. Let me see what the current overlay actually has. So this is 207A63. This is 207A110. Wow, that's not even the same as the other side. I mean, but that's fine. That's approximately what I want. So copy color, right? It's just that's just the setting is called copy alpha plus color. Alpha is definitely add. I just feel like this is mistakenly written. I guess that's just copy alpha plus color. Alpha compositing probably definitely doesn't do what I want. I feel like I just need to rewrite this one. Probably the only easy way to do this. Because otherwise I'm not sure how to get this to do what I want. Yeah, it's not alpha compositing. I think I'm just going to rewrite this later. I'll do this. I'll redraw this myself later. We're just going to use it for now. Maybe I fix it so that we can use it is probably what I should do. I don't want to do that either. All right, let's just work with what we got and see if we can make it happen. I don't think we can. I think I'm going to have to redraw this before any of this works, but let's work on the code for a second. Because I hate drawing mostly semi-transparent things. It's really hard to see what you're doing. And B, I hate doing that on stream. So let's just see what we can do in terms of the code first. So we're just going to say overlay source ID. Well, for now, okay, I guess I have to add this part back in, huh? Because we're going to be using it. Tile.atlas. Atlas. Should this continue to be an eye collection? Just an interface? A nullable interface? Well, it shouldn't be nullable for one thing, but it can continue to be an interface. Actually, this I might overwrite this. So this could be like an AABB in some cases. So this always null thing is not a problem. And then what do? We say mask contains, and we're only checking for coordinates, huh? So yeah, let's do that. And then that we could maybe have a... I just don't want this value boxed when it doesn't need to be boxed. So we're going to do it like this. And we're going to just start getting rid of stuff we don't need. Like this edge tiles thing. Get rid of it. I eventually might want an overlay that has no consideration for edges or whatever at all. It's just like a blanket, like flat fill. If we eventually need that, we can write a separate thing for that. So this mask is not equal to null thing. It's fine. Excuse me. This we get rid of. Mask is always null, or always not equal to null now. So yeah, let's get rid of all this stuff that has anything to do with mask is null. Mask is not equal to null, and bulk equals hull, and not doors.contains. Okay. I'm going to regret having twice as much autotiler to maintain. But I guess it's fine if it's just if it's either an overlay. Maybe we call this overlaid rather than, yeah, I don't know, whatever. So many if statements, so many condition. Hey, VoidBlit, yeah, it's an autotiler, so I don't think there's a real way around this that's meaningful. Eventually, maybe I could encapsulate it, but that's just hiding it. How's it going, VoidBlit? All right, do I need the rest of this? Is all of this real? Is all of this used? The corners, are corners gonna matter for an overlay? Yes. Yeah, it will. Okay, so this doesn't need to be a try-get value. This could be a contains key. So we don't actually use that for anything anymore. Can all of this become a contains key instead of a try-get value? So we just don't need the value. We just don't use it. Yeah, I guess if we're not looking at hull types. If handle corner, wall 1, wall 2, wall 3, wall 4, wall 5 fixed. Yeah, And then you just have a evaluate negative x edge function, and all of these conditions are just there. And what if different layer types handle edges differently, which is the case? So you'd have evaluate negative x edge for deck x tile overlay, which would be distinct from evaluate negative x edge for deck x tile non-overlay, underlay. It's called clean code. Yeah. It's called sweeping the dust under the rug is what it's called. That's where all the dirt gets swept. You just sweep it under the rug and it's gone forever. Eventually, I will do that because this is a pain in the ass to stare at all day. But I'm going to wait until these evaluation conditions are like fully mature. When we're done with the auto tiling system, then we can do that. Then we can have like a list as long as my arm of like just individual edge case consideration functions. But as long as I'm working on it, I want all of the information about a particular evaluation. I want all of that in front of me. I want to see it. It hurts to look at, but I want to see it. Otherwise, I'd have to just, if I wanted to evaluate this, I'd have to click it and I'd have to jump to the function. And then I'd have to jump back somehow, which I don't think is a thing you can do, right? Like if you jump to a function, you can't get back to the function that you jumped from. Can you? Is that a thing? Is there a JetBrains hotkey that just lets me do that? Because I would love that. But my understanding is if I click this, well, now I'm here. And it's not like there's an undo button to get me back to where my previous reference was. I guess I could, oh, it shows it up here, so can I click back up here? No, I can't. Oh, I can. Okay, maybe I can do it. Maybe I can do it. I guess that only works if you're... How does that work? Hold on, I'm learning. I'm learning about how writer works. Interesting. So I think normally this information... Oh, if I jumped far enough down, I don't think I would get that. Let's see if we jump this far down. Okay, no, it's gone. Never mind. I was like, oh, sick. Did they think about this? They did not think about that. Alt arrow left. Okay, that's real specific. That is a real specific suggestion. I will try it. If the stream goes down, you know whose fault it was. All right, well, let's click this and go Alt arrow left. Alt arrow right. It just wants me to rename something. Good try, though. 10-year anniversary of working on the tile system. You were so mean to me. Random Journey. It's not quite the same domain. You've come across problems that just need to be solved with boring, smelly code. You like to put it all in one place so you're not spreading the smell all over. Yeah. Oh, it's probably because you have VS Code shortcuts. Oh, yeah. I don't know what model JetBrains uses for their shortcuts, but I'm sure they're not the same as VS Code. I'm sure I could change them to be, but I don't need to do that because I don't use VS Code. Yeah, I agree with you, Rhiannon Journey. The way I start a system program, a system begins life as a monolith. And only once I understand the boundaries between individual subsystems do they start to get broken up. But yeah, I always start with the monolith, and it stays a monolith until I'm confident that I can spool something out or spin it out into like a module or some kind of function or subclass or whatever. Yeah, I don't do that. I don't like doing that early because then it's just confusing. Arneo, you hide the ugly lines and variables, and then you just try not to look at the variable declarations too often. That'll work. That'll work. Voidblade, you use WebStorm. You set it up to use VS Code shortcuts, so it has the same functionality somewhere bound to something else. Oh, I'm not judging you for using VS Code shortcuts. I'm actually very pro. The people who are like, I have a weird ass keyboard, right? I have the same keyboard as the Primogen, which is how you know I'm a real gamer. And I have a weird IDE, and I do things weird, and I hate that because it means I don't understand how other people's workflows are. I'm actually very behind, not behind. I encourage people to just use the default versions of things if they can, because it's cool if you can get away with the default version of things. So it's like if you have a regular keyboard with regular QWERTY, you're not some Dvorak or some weird custom keyboard rewrite layout thing that you do on every keyboard you use. Like, as long as you use the default versions of things, it's a lot easier to share knowledge and methodologies. But as soon as you get into this weird, like, all of my stuff is custom, then it becomes so hard to even just use a different machine. Like when I have to use my laptop and I can't use my Kinesis Advantage 2 360, whatever it's called. I would love a sponsorship, Kinesis. I get so awkward on regular keyboards. Obviously, I can still use a regular keyboard, but it's like I'm becoming dependent on a very unusual input system. And like, so yeah, I'm all for people using like just VS Code shortcuts everywhere. Because then if you're trying to help someone in VS Code, you're just like, yeah, I know how to use VS Code. Yeah, real gamers game on split keyboards. No, I don't doubt that Voidblit that there is a button to go back. I'm sure there's a shortcut to go back. Here, let's look that up. JetBrains writer. What would you even call that command? JetBrains writer shortcut or hotkey to I don't know. This is called like jump to definition, to jump back from definition. To jump back from a definition in JetBrains Writer, use the navigate backward command. Control Alt left arrow. You almost got there. You almost got there. All right, so let's try that. So let's jump down from here to here, and then let's Control Alt left arrow. I didn't do shit. Well, that's what you get for reading the Gemini summary. Rhiannon Journey, you need Vim mode in everything, but thankfully it's almost everywhere, and it's not like you can't get around without it. Yeah. Avoid Blade, you sound like you have a cool keyboard. You have a 12-year-old keyboard that still works? That's pretty sick. It moved my cursor. It did move my cursor, which is not helpful. All right, what if we jump way down here? Control Alt left arrow. This might be a key. I don't know. Yeah, it didn't do shit. I might not have that stuff enabled or something. Who knows? Whatever. Who cares? I'm over it. All right. Is this function variation fine? Okay. If hulls try get value hull key plus vector 3i.x out hull. Yeah. Wait, why isn't this just a try, just a contains key? So if hulls.contains key plus x and not cutaways has cutaway extents full deck. It moved my cursor. It's not helpful to me if all it... Okay, let's see what it did. I got frustrated and I went away, but let's see what happens. So I'm going to click this, and then I'm going to Control-Alt-Left arrow key. All right, where's my cursor? Is it where it's supposed to be, which is way the hell up here? No. It's somewhere else. So stupid. Doc say Control Shift Backspace. All right, let's see. Let's see. All right, here we are. Control Shift Backspace. Okay, that started just jumping around all over the place. Whatever. This is not something we're gonna do, apparently. I don't know what's happening. I think it intended for me to hit it once, but there's no way for me to hit it exactly once because it's very awkward. I have to hold Control and Backspace with my thumb. Because again, I have a weird-ass keyboard, which is why you should just use the default versions of things. So now I gotta make my own shortcut that I can actually ergonomically do. Oh, yeah. No, these are great. Look at my left thumb clusters. Let me see if I can get this so you can actually kind of see it. Look at this left thumb cluster. How easy is that? Isn't that awesome? Also, my left-right arrow keys are right there. So my left thumb can just do Control and Alt, or Backspace, or Delete. Home and End is less useful, but... Thumb clusters. That is how you save yourself from RSI. I'm convinced. Let's use those thumbs. Let's use those things which distinguish us from lesser beings. The thumbless masses. Reminds you of a video where a guy builds a custom high-resolution scroll wheel to more precisely scroll long documents. Oh, yeah, that's great. I have a Logitech MX Master, whatever it's called, S3. And it has like one of those endless scroll wheels that just scrolls forever. I use that all the time to scroll up things that just take like 1,000 years. It's not super accurate, but what's really neat about it is it has a thumb. It has a horizontal scroll wheel. I like literally can't live with this now, without this now. Like my I will need a work mouse with a horizontal scroll wheel for the rest of my life now because it's way too useful. Maybe not in code because I don't write terribly long horizontal lines, but when I'm working in spreadsheets, like at my day job, and I've got spreadsheets with like hundreds of columns, it's so useful. Sapphire, if there's someone here who lost their thumb when they just called and they just got called lesser, no, that's different. But yeah, I should be sensitive about differently thumbed people. You're right. I don't want to get canceled. You just hold page up for like 5 seconds. That works. Stuff is a bit more high tech. You're showing me a YouTube video. All right, let's see what's going on here. Let's wait for the ad. We're about to go into ads, so I'll check this out real quick, and then we'll take a quick break. Oh, it's one of these dial things. These are cool. These are cool. I actually have one of these. I have one of these right here. You know what this controls? You know what I use this to control? A desk lamp. It's the dimmer switch for a desk lamp. That's what I use mine for. This looks very cool. You can just get these dials. I don't feel like you don't need to. Oh, there's probably a lot of setup involved in this. Wow, there's like a white paper. Usage, resolution, multiplier. Okay, this looks interesting. I might watch this later. That's cool. Oh man, someone's like using SolidWorks or something like that. Probably exactly that. This level of do-it-yourself-ness is amazing. Like, can you not just purchase a dial? Clearly not. This person's out here with like a lathe or something. What's going on? Oh, okay. We're painting. We're fixing the imperfections. All right, that's really sick. That's very cool. We're going into ads. I'll be right back. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you all for hanging out today. All right. Thanks for waiting. Needed a bit of a bio break. We're still in ads. High resolution desk lamp luminosity control? Yeah, of course. Sapphire start. Purchasing is not as much fun as making. Coming from someone who has a custom from scratch lightsaber prototype they're working on. That's pretty cool. You're right. You're right. It's one of those things. It's like choose your battles, I guess. Like, I think it'd be really cool to have like a 3D printer and like actually make little gadgets and stuff. But it's like, what wouldn't I be working on because I was doing that? All right. Let's work on these overlay variations. All right, what else don't we need? I think we still care about a lot of these. Oh yeah, I was switching some of this stuff to be. We were switching a lot of try gets with just contains key. 'Cause that's easy. You also have to be the right person for that, though. You do happen to have a 3D printer. 2, actually. Ooh. One's not functioning right now. Yeah, that would be cool. I am not a huge do-it-yourselfer. I really am not. I'm trying to learn to be a less wasteful person. And that would probably be a way to help me do that, but haven't gotten there yet. What am I doing now? I don't even know. Oh yeah, just getting rid of these useless variables. Yeah, this is just annoying because and here's a good reason why we should Here's a good reason why both for and against like separating out these functions, because I could have an evaluate negative x edge function where you pass in like what layer you're talking about, but it's like if there's any distinctions at all between, like, even the overlay has a different set of conditionals than the regular version for the same layer, for the same tile layer. And it's like, I feel like there's no real value in hiding all these conditionals in a function right now. So I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. Starship. Sapphire Starship. Getting anything done while the 3D printer is going is a struggle because you find yourself getting mesmerized by the printer laying down plastic one layer at a time. You just find yourself staring at it. That would be super cool to watch. That would be fun to watch. Return new tile. Okay. Okay, so that's one version of it. Or is it? Oh, so I have to copy each of these functions if I want to do this. Seriously. Well, what I should do is I should get rid of all the cruft first, and then do that. The source ID stuff is all going to need to change. That's okay. We'll do that. That'd be a good relaxation screensaver loading screen thing. Just 3D printer printing stuff. That would be pretty cool. That'd be pretty neat. Overlay. Forgot to do this part. Did I do this right? Yeah, I did. All right, we're getting rid of these branching conditionals, at least as far as like the mask or no mask thing. So that's good. So it should say this or this. Am I working on the right function? I am not. I'm getting mixed up a lot. Oh, but that's exactly what I wanted to do. Never mind. I'm doing the right thing. Just psyching myself out here. This is a good refactor. This is a good refactor. Should help. I guess it's less. I guess having saying z equals hull key dot z plus 1 is a little better than saying hull key plus vector 3i dot z. Because then we're still doing the width to get the w, so it probably makes sense to just set the variables here. Oh, I've been muted for who knows how long. But we're just chilling. We're going through all these functions. I'm making a variation for each function that's specifically for the overlay. So the overlay has different logic, and I'm just kind of cleaning up a bit here and there as I do that process. This can be another contains key. You know what might make sense is having a function that's like evaluate negative x edge, or it's like skip outline negative x edge or whatever, and then we can just add an additional condition check for like the mask. I don't know. I'm hoping that the autotiling rules are mature enough that it's okay that we're like duplicating them like this. That's my hope. I don't think it's well founded, but it's my hope. It's what I got. This is the regular one. Okay, so this will just say, oh, so I need to I actually can't get rid of this at all until I've copied it. Have I copied it? I have copied it. Okay. So now I can get rid of this stuff. Get rid of all this. I feel like this should be way up here. Because it's like, that's an easy check. Although I guess sometimes it needs to be here because this seems like it's some kind of not using this value for anything. So we say this, essentially. It's this. Oh no, it can be like this. It could be this or this. I don't use this. Holes, try get value, whole key with blah, blah, blah. W equals door, outdoor. Hold on a second. Why do we have this written here twice? Let's put this up here where it should be. So if there's a bulk Y, there is necessarily a door here. So we can get rid of this. What we want to know is this. We want to know this door contains thing. Is that right? And not doors contains, yeah. I had a suspicion that we were maybe being a little overcomplicated with this stuff, so it's nice to be able to trim this up a little here. I want to find a nicer way to write this. Evaluate plus Y edge. Holes. Try get value. Whole key with Z equals whole key dot Z plus 1. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. There's a reason we're doing that. Man, I was already like all about vertical, like trying to make my code as vertical as possible before. I'm even more into this now because at Ezra's suggestion, I upped the font size. And now the font is huge. We're using like 24-point font for the code editor. All right, I think this one's correct now. Now this is the overlay version. So we don't care about that. Mask is not equal to null is not a thing we check anymore. Using mask.contains. This isn't used anymore, so this can become a contains key. This one should have already been a contains key. This is mask contains hull key or hulls.try get value. Hull key plus vector3i.xy. Okay. I have a feeling like this all isn't gonna work quite the same that it worked before before we did this, but you know, that's fine. It's part of the process. Set contains key. We're not gonna use this. I'm gonna shift the order of this a little bit. I don't totally understand that, but you know, it's okay. We have it. We're maintaining a reference to the original condition because we've got the original copy above, so it should be fine. I don't think there's any way we can like really break any of this. The doors contains key thing. We don't need to do that anymore, right? We're not doing that right now. No, I think I'm getting rid of that. Okay. This is not equal to no. Oh, excuse me. This is nonsensical. This is going to be a contains key. All right. Well, that took a while, but we got through the X and the Y for the decks. Now we need the Z level for the decks, I think. So we'll clean this up a little. No, we got to copy it and then clean it up. Overlay. Just gonna make this a bounding box for now. If we absolutely need to do it with a... Oh my god. Well. Raid alert. Hide the code. Hello, nerds. Hey, tuner to nerds. How's it going? Programmer Jeff. Hello, hello. How was the stream? How's Dr. J. Ferret? Etc. And whatever's left of humanity. Hide the code. I would never hide the code from Programmer Jeff. I feel like that would be a futile endeavor. Programmer Jeff is the code. Welcome in. How's it going? How was the stream? We're refactoring. We're doing a nice refactor of the autotiler because you know it. We ran into some problems with the overlays, so we're fixing them because that's what we do. Which version am I looking at? The wrong version. Stream was good, breaking things, making things. Nice. That's how it's done. Programmer Jeff shifts all bits, direction, and amounts. Unknown at this time. Great. Well, that's good. How goes the project? It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'd show it to you, but it's broken right now because we're in the middle of a refactor. But you know, I guess I'll talk about it a little bit. Welcome in, Raiders. This is Digital Iliad. We are working on an FTL-like. It's an isometric 2D FTL style kind of game. There's a lot of tech involved in this, including a block editor tool and an autotiler. We're working on the autotiler right now. Olanado, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Little itty bitty bit of tech. Yeah. It's not the only thing we've written for the game. Certainly not. Yeah, we're hanging out. This is going to be a pretty chill week. I think next weekend we're going to do another game jam. That'll be fun. I'm gearing up. I think we're going to be doing the solo dev jam number 9, which is a Halloween jam. Very looking forward to doing kind of a Halloween jam. October 24th through 27th. So right now we're just working on the main project. That'll be coming up soon. Excited to get spooky. I'm wearing my Pottsfield Harvest Festival. Don your vegetables. I'm ready. I'm ready for the fall here. Yesterday, it just started pouring rain. It went from being like late summer to like fall, like the middle of fall, like overnight in San Francisco here. You're all distracted. You're not distracting me. I like the distraction because otherwise I'd actually have to do real work. Spooky Woof, which I understand is probably not how to pronounce your name. But it's a Colbert Report situation. Spooky Woof sounds a little weirder. What percent done with your game would you say you are? Oh, that's fascinating. I would say 0% done. Or maybe 1% done. Because we're just working on tools. Which arguably aren't even part of the game, you know what I'm saying? If I counted the tools, I'd say maybe like 5 to 10%. Something like that. It's tricky because the tool just exists to make it somewhere between possible and easier to make the game, right? So who's to say how much time we're eventually going to save? Hard to say. Nerds, one of these days you're going to find a way to convince me to just add a little guy running around in the tile set maze. I've literally had that. I had that, I don't know, a year and a half ago. That was easy. That was not the hard part. That was not the hard part of the project. What percent done is the autotiler, though? Okay, that's a more serious question. The autotiler, it's probably like 80 to 90% done, I hope. Probably more like 80. But we'll see. We don't actually need it to be 100%, right? We just need it to be mostly good. Sorry. Programmer Jeff, happened 4 days ago there. Oh, the change over to fall. You're further north on the coast near Seattle. Yeah, that's nice. I would love more like Seattle weather here. San Francisco is becoming like LA in terms of weather, and I'm very unhappy about it. You're turning your heat on for the first time today. I need to do that, but I need to clean the apartment a little first before I like seal it up and turn the heater on, and I'm like go into hibernation mode. Also 1%. Oh, you hurt me. I would refute you, but I can't run the autotiler right now because I broke it. You constantly think you're almost done, then you realize you're not even close to like 10%. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. How do you even estimate stuff like this? Especially considering the last 20% of the work is the second 80% or whatever nonsense people say. Temporarily 0%. Yeah, at the moment, the autotiler is 0% demonstrable. It's a good looking bridge. It makes you feel like you need to take the op station. Yeah, this is the vibe we're going for, and it's complicated to draw out because it's essentially a 3D game being rendered in a kind of isometric 2D. So the block editor tool is like 3D, but everything being shown is 2D. So there's a lot of challenges involved in both navigating and showing and working in this space. So it's a pretty big struggle. I think it's the cursed problem of the game is the visibility issue of trying to do this kind of dimetric low angle. So I think if I can solve that problem, we're like a long way to having a pretty workable interface here. But I'm trying to leverage this tech into, you know, beyond just this individual game. I have a side project in mind that I want to do with this tech. So I don't know. It seems like I'm building a whole engine over here or something all of a sudden. But that's fine. I don't have a timetable. I do have a day job. So I'm doing all right. So I can take my time and, you know, not be terribly stressed about everything. Where were we? We were up here. Did I finish this? But thanks for the raid, nerds. Thanks for hanging out. If you got to run, I get it. We'll probably be just kind of quietly refactoring here for the next, until the stream is done at some point. I got to sit up. I've like pulled a muscle, which is taking like months to heal. And I blame just sitting at the computer all day. All right. So to get Z tile, copy this over. We're trying to unify kind of how the overlays get drawn and just have a single overlay type. Right now we have two different kinds of overlays, and I don't love that. We're having some problems with priority between tiles that overlap because there's a little bit of tile overlap, and we have to deal with it pretty precisely. It's getting late over there. You need to take off. No worries. Thanks, nerds. Hey, Olanado. Olanado. What is an Olanado? Sorry. Thanks for following. Thanks for saying hi. Thanks for redeeming the hydrate. Thanks for the engagement. I appreciate it. Is this the second copy of the function? Yeah, it is. Oh god, the stretch. All right. We'll stretch a little by popular demand. You just made up the name. Seemed like it pronounced something. No, it's nice. It's fun. There's a lot of options. Is it Olanado? 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 You can just always tell people they're pronouncing it wrong. Endlessly fun. It's doll. Just always be correcting people's pronunciation. All right, so we copied it so we can fix the original. Step 1, fix the original. Step 2, make the copy. No, I don't want to change signature refactor. I clicked that one time and now it's like every time it's like, you want me to do this for you? And it's like, I got this. I got it. Yeah. I updated JetBrains Writer and they've finally added like a coding agent, but thank Glob, it is not enabled by default. Otherwise, I would have gotten pretty irate, I think. All right, so this is the original. So this is mask is null. So we can just pop this up over here. This is the mask is null version. So all we want to know is this. Get rid of this branch. That should be good there. Same thing here. All right, autocomplete's starting to figure it out. I like the autocomplete. It's usually wrong, but it's not very much in my way. Olanado, like tornado. That's what you were thinking. Okay, that's pretty cool. Olanado. Olanado. Yeah, it's kind of interesting how differently people can interpret the same thing. It's indicative of something linguistic, but what? I don't know. I'm not a linguist. All right. We don't need that interface quite right now. We'll get rid of this edge tiles thing. What are you mad about? Remember with the same signature already declared. That seems impossible. Oh. Wait. What happened? How is that possible? Did I already copy this once and then forget? Yeah, I did. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, wasn't I going to change some stuff up here? There's like an initial check. Oh, that's already written pretty well. Okay, never mind. Moving on. Get rid of this. Okay, so this is the mask is not equal to null branch. So we gotta put this in here. Excuse me. This can be a contains key. I actually don't even know if I need to do this contains key check. I think I do for the overlay still. Like, I think we still need to know that there is a neighboring tile here. Interesting. Okay. It's going to be real interesting to see what this looks like when we turn it back on. How's everyone's week gone so far? I'm already really confused about what day of the week it is. I usually go into the office on Mondays. Most Mondays. I didn't do it yesterday because I'm going on Friday instead. And so now I just have no idea what the day of the week is because it's like I set my whole thing around that Monday. Like I usually go to the office. That's like a whole thing. I come back. I like go to the grocery store. I like set up everything for the week on that Monday. And that Monday did not occur. I just sat here on my computer working yesterday. And so now I'm confused. My brain is like, we didn't do any of the things we normally do. Do you have groceries? We didn't go get them. Like, I think I'm all right. You haven't been here long. How long on an average do I stream? It depends. I aim for about 3 hours a stream. The aim is 3. If I'm not really feeling it or I'm in a rush, like I got to go do something, it's probably closer to 2. But I try to stream 2 to 3 hours, 5 days a week if I can. My usual days are Tuesday through Saturday. So we're just starting our week this week. All right, that's another layer done. All right, 3 layers down. 3 more to go here. Let's do it. We're cooking. We'll finish that up real quick here. Which one's the copy? Which is the real Captain Kirk? So you're gonna keep this. This is gonna become a bounding box again. This is straight up gonna not work as a bounding box in some cases, but you know, maybe it'll be okay. Okay. Maybe we don't actually use. We did talk about. No, we do. I do need a version that can take just an arbitrary list or something, or a hash set or whatever. I don't like that this parameter is not on its own line here. Okay, fix that elsewhere. Starship, you're considering making YouTube videos if you really get started in your new project. It might not happen though, you'll see. It kind of depends on what else you got going on in your life at that point. It's very different, it's very different. If by make YouTube videos, you mean like make edited videos, that's a good approach, that's a good approach. It's the opposite of my approach because I'm not a video editor. I don't feel like I have time to do that sort of thing. It's also not really how I want to spend my time. Eventually I'll have to do edited videos to like grow my channel beyond a certain point. But that's a lot. It's a big undertaking. But I think it could be really cool. Get rid of that. Don't need that. That's all good. This can go. This is the unmasked version. So it's just this we need to do. What are you complaining about? Not null. Hull, Dave. Not null. I'm such a fool. So this is the regular version, so it needs to say this. And then this needs to go here. But yeah, growing your audience, I think, is a crucial thing to game dev now. I don't think it's not the case anymore where you can just make a game and just presume that there's an audience there for it. Like, there's too much noise. There's too many other people also trying to do it. That's like part of why I'm streaming. And which is why I don't mind that this project is taking so long, because it's like, it's going to take so long to build up the audience that it's fine. And so maybe when I'm ready to like put something out there, I'll at least have some people interested in it. So I think it's a really good move. None of this matter. Just gotta hold on to this one. Get rid of this whole section. Okay, and then now for the overlay version. The overlay version. This is the opposite. So this the mask is not equal to null, in which case we want to do this containment check. And that's it. And so we can get rid of this. We can turn this into a contains key. Key. This one should already be a contains key. And in fact, we should probably... Oh, we got a few contains keys here. Contains key. If I'm just discarding the out, I don't know why I have try get value everywhere. Just discarding it. Kind of weird. At the moment, you would like to make edited game dev videos. Okay, okay. It's a future goal. Kind of depends if you can get your business up and going and have a flexible schedule. Yeah. No, that's cool. I think that's another option. Like the way there's the option that I'm doing, which is like you have like multi-hour live streams that you put up unedited. But I think it's totally legit to go the other way, where you're trying to put up like short videos, and especially shorts. I see people have quite a bit of success on like TikTok or something if you can get some good shorts. Yeah, I think that's a super crucial part about game dev now, is designing like a marketable game. I mean, obviously that's always been an important part of game dev. But, you know, back during the golden age, you could just drop a decent game and the audience was there. Now everyone's fighting for attention. And everyone is fighting for attention. You're not just competing with other game studios, you're competing with like social media at large. Like, it's crazy. Not to dissuade you from trying to do this sort of thing, but you know, it's definitely a different environment. What did I just... Huh. I could have sworn I looked through this earlier. Here we go. Advertising with a side of a little extra income. Oh yeah, I don't know about... I'm not making any money off of YouTube. I don't know what the margins look like on that sort of thing, but you're definitely going to spend more producing anything than you would making anything off of ads, unfortunately. But if you're also getting something else out of it, like you're building a community or something, or building an audience. I think building an audience is it. I don't think any of us can really get around having to do that nowadays. I think that's just the way, you know? Okay, so this can be this. Or this. Or, well, I could have just, oops. I could just get rid of this. Yeah, you know, you just think it would be a little fun little side project. It might not ever happen. It's just an idea in the back of your head. I think you should do it. You need to do something. Unless you just want to make games for fun, you know. But it's like, if you want to sell the game, you gotta pick something. I know everyone picks something. Some people pick Reddit. They go for Reddit. I think if you're on Reddit, that's a great choice. I'm not really on Reddit, so I can't go for Reddit because Reddit is incredibly hostile for people that do anything that looks like self-promotion. especially if they're not part of the community already, which is fair. So like Reddit's cool. TikTok, a lot of people are on TikTok for game dev stuff. I think that's really good because video games, I think, is very good for TikTok. I think TikTok is a very good environment to be showing off game dev stuff. The important thing is just that you have to do something, right? Something. Anything. YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Reddit. Something. If you build it, they will come is like not a thing, right? It's like, I mean, there 1 in 1,000 might just blow up virally, but I argue that they were doing those marketing things that I'm talking about. They are on TikTok or Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. They're on something. Nothing goes viral in a vacuum, right? I mean, except for, you know, the viral vacuum video. That's how you go viral in a vacuum, you know what I'm saying? Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I'm having fun though. Lately I haven't really been wanting to stream, but an hour or two into the stream, everyone's so nice and it's so fun that I feel a lot better about it, and now I'm just having a good time. But yeah, I've definitely been feeling the fatigue and not really wanting to work on the project. But practice keeps me going. The routine really helps. It definitely pushes me through where I might not otherwise stick with it. All right, this was the overlay, right? Okay, one more. Well, 2 more. One more difficult one here. You definitely understand the fatigue, not wanting to work on it. Yeah. It's everyone. Certainly at different... Oh, Jesus. Certainly at different phases of the project. And it hits everyone a little differently. Part of the good thing for me is actually if I'm not streaming, I'm not working on the game that much off stream, which is a problem. I have regular game dev co-working sessions 3 nights a week that I go to, and I try to get like an hour or 2 of work done, but it's like the game takes so much work. It takes so much time. And you know, your own motivation kind of ebbs and flows. There's some weeks where this is like all I do is work on the game, whether I'm on stream, off stream, whatever. Any amount of free time I have goes into the game. And there are some weeks where it's like I just do the stream, maybe I do some of the game dev co-working sessions, and then it's like that's it. I don't want to look at it otherwise. But yeah, I think once you build up the discipline and you treat it like going to the gym or something, it's like it's just something you do. I think that definitely helps. Because, yeah, we're not always at our best. We're not always on our game. But the work very often must continue, right? All right, all we need to do is the adjacency check. ADHD doesn't help much with that. Yeah, luckily I don't have that particular problem, but I know a lot of people that do. Especially in the current environment with a lot of shortages. To get the medicine you need to help with that. Yeah, that's definitely a problem. Arneo, one of your favorite words of wisdom. Routine is like a train. It gets you where you're going even when you're tired. Yeah. That sense of momentum, of inertia, that is super key to getting things done over a long time scale. Because yeah, if you depend on your own motivation, to get stuff done, that is very unreliable. That is following the muse. And, you know, sometimes the muse is with you, and sometimes you and the muse are on a break. You know what I mean? Sometimes the muse is not answering her phone, and you just gotta carry on. All right, this is the mask is null, so we just gotta hold on. So this is an and adjacent. Section X is hull, or this. All right, so that's the regular bulk Y tile. Now we need the bulk Y tile overlay. Maybe. Contains key. Did I do that up here? Yeah, I did. All right, this is the so this we have a mask, so we need to think about the mask. So the mask is not null, which means we got to do this containment check. And that's all we're doing here. In which case this can also be a contains key. We don't actually need this. So here we need mask contains this or this. And this can also be, these can both be contains keys. Maybe it makes sense to have some of these as functions and then to have this contains as like an initial check. So we can say, well, if the mask doesn't contain this, oh wait, why do we do this for every edge? This is true once for the whole thing, right? I guess some of them have ors. Yeah, so this is like mask contains or this. Yeah, so I guess I should rewrite the autotiling rules, but I see ways of simplifying this in a way that doesn't make me hate myself in the implementation. I see a way to make this better. And you know, that's how I like to take the approach. I'm not really big on production. Meaning I don't really pay much attention to scheduling or deadlines, or I just clock in, quote unquote clock in. I'm not getting paid, let's be clear. I just sit down and I just work on the next most obvious thing to work on. Because if you play the game for a second, quote unquote play the game, if you interact with what you have already, you'll see pretty quickly what the next most obvious thing to work on is. That's just my approach. It's only mildly embarrassing when someone comes in and asks me what percentage I'm done after 258 episodes, and I'm like, I don't know, less than 10. It's fine. It's only going to take like a couple thousand episodes to be done. I can wait. That's only like 7 or 8 years. at my current pace. Hopefully, eventually, I'll be able to up the pace on this game. But that's not going to happen unless some of my side projects take off, you know? Or something else happens that changes my circumstances. All right, there's an error here. What is the error here? Where is the error here? Show me the error. The heck is the error? Oh, is it just a parenthesis? All right, now all of these function calls don't work, so we got to address that next. So the simplest thing to start would be go up here. Up here, maybe not up here. Maybe up here is too high. No, this is right. So let's get rid of this and this and this. Oh, we can keep this one, I guess. Let's do a very quick check. And then we'll find someone to raid. So right now we don't need a mask. So we can just get rid of all this because we don't need any of this. What we're gonna need to do is call a different function. We'll have to have a branch up here. Or we just have a different function for when you call an overlay. Which is fine. I don't know. Like this is describe tile map data. We could have like describe overlay. I don't know, tile overlay. Wait, so the 258 episodes have been working on the autotiler? You were hoping that wasn't the case. No, it's not. We haven't spent 258 episodes working on the autotiler. That would be insane. That's the whole project. So like our early prototypes, all the things we didn't ultimately, all the things we tried but ultimately didn't pursue. God, everybody hates Chris. Go on to the background. That's funny. Kind of hesitating if you want to start learning custom classes right now. You're getting the feeling you should before you meddle with more code. Oh, and Godot, custom classes are super useful. I would highly recommend. Because Godot is not a lot of people necessarily want to have everything inherit everything else, but Godot is kind of written that way. And so at least with custom classes, you can kind of play with Godot's node structure, which is helpful. You were joking? Oh, okay. Around episode 80 or 90, we started working on any component system, and that's kind of when I think the earliest prototyping phase ended, was probably then, just before we hit like triple digits. We worked on the entity component system for like 30 episodes or something like that. And then we started working on, I'd say like half of our episodes have probably been dedicated towards the tile block editor, of which the autotiler is one part. And is actually, the autotiler is not even technically part of the block editor tool. So yeah. People are surprised. I don't know what, they like expect like game dev progress to be linear. They expect you to like, every episode you make progress, and it's like progress is sometimes lateral. It's also sometimes backwards. Like sometimes you got to take some steps back. Sometimes you explored a branch that's a dead end, and the exploration of that branch was important. You couldn't have avoided it, and then you got to step back and explore a different branch. So it's like, yeah, game production is tough. All right, we're back to pre-rolls because I haven't run an ad. Because I don't want to run an ad, because I want to test this. So we're going to test this. We're going to watch it crash, probably pretty hard. All right, let's see. Cold refactor. Did it just work? Wow. Okay, not totally. We broke something on the X, on the bulk X face. easy to fix. What about down here? Is that all we broke? Okay, we broke one thing on what looks like the negative X outline on the bulk X face. Okay, that's pretty specific. Bulk X, negative X, edge. So somewhere here, this is written incorrectly. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna go look at it next to the Y, because the Y doesn't have this problem. Otherwise, that was a pretty successful refactor. I haven't checked the overlay version of the code, which is the code that we're actually interested in. But man, you have strong opinions about my indentation style, Ryder. Ryder is like, I don't know what you're doing, but I don't like it. Can you, like, listen to me? Stupid thing. There we go. Is that right? No, yeah, it should be like that. All right, so what is the difference between these two? Because there's a difference here, and it's killing me. Plus y minus x, plus x minus y, plus y minus x, plus x minus y. As far as I can tell, these are identical. Obviously, they're not exactly identical. Only one thing broken, not too bad. Yeah, it could have been far worse. I actually don't know what it is. So I would love to fix it and then say that, like, we mostly accomplished our goal today. I'm not quite sure where this problem would be, though. This looks pretty identical. You know what we'll do? Here's what we're gonna try. Well, let's just get rid of this. We're gonna do the opposite. We're gonna copy this. We're going to copy this version, which seems to work. And we're going to paste it in the other one. And then we're going to... I hate this so much. Just listen to me when I tab something. Just respect my wishes, Ryder. I know it's a weird tabbing style, but, like, you don't have to judge me so hard. All right. So we're going to do this, and we're going to flip all of the... Oh, we have to flip these too. Basically, any X becomes Y, and any Y becomes X. That's essentially how this works. I just have to make sure I don't accidentally do one twice. And we'll see if that fixes it. This needs to say bulk Y. All right, well, we swapped that out. Let's see if that did anything. That did not do anything. All right, what could be causing that? I don't know. Weird that it's only on one side. But, you know, I can live with that if that's, like, literally the only problem. We can fix that next time. Okay, well, let's undo the thing that I did because that didn't seem to help. Oh, is that your plus X edge, not your minus X edge? Polls target value key plus vector 3i dot xy plus y adjacent position y. Let's see if this is the same, or if this is messed up, I guess I should say. Key plus x, key plus xy adjacent position x out contains key. So this or this, is that the same as up here? Ah, this is an and. This needs to be an or. Easy. And this can be a contains key. I think we did it. I think we fixed that problem. So I'll redraw the overlay tileset atlas tonight during one of my game dev co-working sessions here. And then tomorrow we can set that up and we should be good to go. But yeah, not bad. Not bad for a refactor, huh? We split the functions out so we can have a separate version for the overlay, and then tomorrow we can program the overlay. Deal with any custom, any overlay specific issues that comes up. All right, success. Sufficient success. All right, let's find someone to raid. Let's pay it forward. Covino's going, Thindle's going, Errand, Goob. Let's see what everyone's doing. Have a good night. Hope to catch you next time. Yeah, please do. Olanado, full bulk and half bulk at the bottom. I didn't see that. Hopefully those are fine. We can check tomorrow. All right, Goob just started 20 minutes ago. Covina started 6 hours ago. All right, let's go raid Goob. I think Goob is still going to be here. They're another Godot. They were an average, goober. They're an average Godot goober. They're doing some game dev. They're cool. They're cool people. But yeah, I appreciate everyone for hanging out today. Thanks again. Shout out to Nerdy Nerds for the raid.
Maximum warp.
They're great. If you don't follow them or watch them, go check them out. They stream on Tuesdays. They also stream on Fridays? Maybe on the weekends? They're cool. Check them out. They're in England, so they were at a very different time zone than me, which makes it hard for me to follow, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. We usually stream Tuesday through Saturday. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.